unexpected time for his musical endeavors.
So he was working on a movie, and he was kind of, I think, stuck in a hotel in Austin longer than he anticipated and couldn't play his electric guitar, so he's playing his acoustic a lot. And my personal feeling is that when he writes on acoustic, that it's far superior.
I said, but I feel the same. She said, well, let me explain, baby, how things can change. I said, but that doesn't show how love that could grow would become so strange. She said, well, baby, things change. She said, na 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 na, baby, don't try. Just figure this out or ask questions about why. Forever's a promise no love can survive. And trust with heart just don't apply. She said, 'cause baby, things change.
I think immersed myself in my music and writing for this album in a way that I probably wouldn't have had I not had that experience, you know, with that film, with acting in other films. And it's interesting that I was on a film location when I wrote a lot of the material for this album. I had written the title track, actually begun it before I left to go to Texas to film the Newton Boys, and finished it there, and I began writing the other tracks while I was there, the other songs, a lot of the other songs while I was there. And
Still defiantly true to his inner voice, Dwight is nonetheless very aware of the realities of taking that kind of stance in the music industry.
country radio has been really receptive to what we've been doing over the years, given the elasticity that we've used in creating, performing our music. Is it realistic to believe that radio can play everything you do when you're seeking inspiration as a musician at every corner? I don't know, because if you're doing your job, you may be ahead of the curve sometimes.
In addition to his new album, there's another project that's generating quite a bit of excitement in Dwight's camp and will hopefully receive plenty of attention. We'll Sing for Food, the Songs of Dwight Yoakam, is a benefit album for the homeless. Long a charity of choice for Dwight, the album was originally the brainchild of his guitarist-producer, Pete Anderson.
It got started about 10 years ago when I was doing a record with Michelle Schacht. And I would drive to the studio, and I don't live in an affluent neighborhood, but it's a middle-class neighborhood, Glendale. And I would see people standing by the freeway singing, you know, we'll work for food, or, you know, asking for money. And you're used, you know, I grew up in Detroit. I mean, you're used to seeing some of this closer to the center of town. When I saw it that far out, and I can remember telling Michelle, you know, it's like, this is really upsetting me. You know, it's like, I want to do something about this. I mean, what? I don't know. You know, win the lottery and give them, you know, build a big homeless shelter. I don't know, you know, how do you cure it? But it was something that was in my mind. So Dwight and I have had a charity of choice, which has been the homeless, and I was trying to figure out a way that I could use this whole thing to benefit homelessness. The obvious choice was to somehow get some people to sing Dwight songs and, you know, sell the record. Consequently, I went to Dwight and Warner Chappell and said, would you be interested in donating the royalties, the mechanical royalties to your songs, and to do a benefit record? And they were both gracious and saying, yeah, we think it's a great idea, we'd love to be involved.
Not surprisingly, considering the man whose works are featured, the project resulted in a very eclectic mix of artists turning in some surprising efforts, including performances by, among others, David Ball, Sarah Evans, Kim Ritchie, Mandy Barnett, and Scott Joss. It's a talented group of performers who have volunteered to record his songs for a worthwhile cause, a fact not lost on Dwight.
And it is very flattering, and it is indeed you know, humbling to have a collection of artists that will, you know, were willing to come and sing those songs and allow their efforts to be used to maybe in some way help someone somewhere. It's not something that I feel comfortable accepting a lot of praise for because it's not praiseworthy. It's an obligation that I have and I feel, and I think that Pete also shares as a feeling. And we can get caught up in causes that exist far outside of our immediate environment. And the thing about city missions, and they've been a part of our society for the last 100 or so years, is that on a day-to-day basis they have a very immediate impact on people's lives. And to indulge in the cliche, charity begins at home, that's, I guess, what we're addressing with this.
We'll be right back with more CMT Showcase.
Some things are just too darn big to fit in a tiny package. That's why CMT has the Big Ticket. 12 big hours of big stars every week. We got Big George, Big Shania, Big Sammy, Big Tim. They're all big, and I don't mean big and fat. They're big and famous and barely fit in 12 big shows. Because some things weren't meant to fit in a tiny package. Turn on to CMT's Big Ticket. Today at 1 and 9 Eastern.
Introducing Roll, the flower garden that comes to you rolled up like a carpet. Just roll it out and water. All the seeds and nutrients are in Easy Roll, ready to spring forth hundreds of...
There was a non-actor, a gentleman who was a skate guard in the early part of the video that goes and knocks on Bo Hopkins' office door and asks him what time he wants to do couples only.
When do you want to have couples only? What? When do you want to do couples only?
The line was somewhat muddled when Bo opened the door. I think it startled him. And so in being startled, he kind of, not unlike in real life, mumbled what he was saying to Bo. And Bo really was saying, what? Because he didn't understand him. He wasn't sure if he was supposed to say the line or whatever. So I left it because it really kind of read to me as it might happen in that skating rink on that given night with those two gentlemen. I find great pleasure in that kind of discovery.
You'll be sorry you asked me the reason that she's not here with me tonight. And I know you were probably just acting polite. You'll be sorry you never asked why. We started having problems in August last year. Things have been kind of rough for quite a while. And you know how you think it'll work itself out. Yeah, well, mister, that thought's wrong by a long, long mile. And you'll be sorry you asked me the reason that she's not here with me tonight. And I know you were probably just acting polite, but you'll be sorry you ever asked why. I might should have seen we was drifting apart, but I was in, guess you'd call denial. And I'd always heard her say, well, you're the last one to know. Hey, well, buddy, I was last by a long, long while.
Coming to it through editing the clips of the last 8-9 years, I've kind of experienced a bit of a poor-man's film school. I realized once I began exploring performance and video that within certain constraints and parameters, I was able to explore those kind of subtextual elements of the song that I might have been oblivious to, the songwriter. And besides that, it's just entertaining. Or I find it entertaining. I don't know that everybody finds it entertaining.
Has led to his writing a screenplay that he also plans to direct. Veteran actors Peter Fonda and Billy Bob Thornton, with whom Dwight has worked in the past, encouraged him to pursue writing for film. Of course, it was Thornton who helped propel Dwight into the movie spotlight when Billy Bob cast him in the little independent film that could, Sling Blade.
We're going to be a family, Frank. My family. I'll be paying all the bills. So that means you're stuck with my ass. But I ain't your daddy. You just act like I am. And the other thing I say is, your buddy Carl here is going. We can't be no normal family with him living in a garage and coming in a damn bedroom at 4 in the morning carrying hammers and...
Carl can stay if he wants to. Mama said that...
Well, I tell you about your mama.
Mister, don't you never lay another hand on that boy. You understand me?
The experience that I had was
Both a recording artist and actor, Dwight's talents are undeniable. His kind of versatility comes along about as often as a legitimate Elvis sighting. And while his talents are obvious for all to see or hear, Dwight would certainly rather be to the month Dwight Yoakam.
Maybe someday I'll be strong. Maybe it won't be long. I'll be the one who's tough. You'll be the one who's rough. It won't be long, and maybe I'll be real strong. Maybe I'll do things right. Or maybe I'll start tonight. You'll just cry like me. Baby, let's just wait and see. Maybe I'll start tonight and do things right. You can show me your...
CMT presents the 1998 Vince Gill Tour.